A while ago, I made a video explaining my video making process, and since then I made several changes and improved it. So I wanted to give you an update on that so it's easier for you to start making CTF video write-ups. I'm not saying that's how you should do it, but I will tell you about my experience and why I do it this way. So if you consider making videos, I think I can give you some valuable information here, and then you can come up with your own process. So the process changes slightly depending on the topic, but in this case here I will cover a CTF video write-up. The CTF challenge is from the Google CTF 2017. It was a hard challenge called A7 GQL. First of all, I moved away from Sony Vegas to Adobe Premiere because I was hoping it had better integration with Photoshop to draw my overlays to improve my videos. Well, that didn't turn out to be true, but I still think the move was worth it. Doing animations like moving graphics and rotating them and so forth directly in Premiere is much easier than in Vegas, but drawing and making the graphics for it is still not integrated into each other very well. And another downside is that Adobe products cost quite a bit per month, but I really enjoy making those videos, so it's worth investing into my hobby. Okay. So I start with a template that has the intro animation as well as the outro already in there, and then I add the recordings I made with OBS during the CTF. Then I go over each video file and label it with the challenge it was about. So the first problem is that CTF challenges take time and are often a mess. I don't record 12 hours of my screen and then try to extract 10 minutes of content from it. And even more important is that the recording is not really optimized for video write-up. I use a big screen resolution, sometimes multiple screens and multiple devices. It's just not great footage. I will get into that a little bit later when we come to editing. So usually, I always record a little bit during the CTF when I have a feeling I made substantial progress. And this way I also don't forget my steps. Then I open up a Google Doc for the script and start going through the footage and start writing. A7 GQL was a hard miss challenge, and so forth. While writing, I already tried to imagine how I would show that with a video, and I think about what errors I like to include and what I will leave out, what I would like to focus more on and what is unimportant, trying to come up with a nice story. So some videos become more basic, others become more advanced, and usually I aim for about 3 pages in Google Docs with Arial font 11 that will create a 9 to 12 minute video. So I continue writing my script, check and verify some stuff, and try to find the parts in the recording and so forth. Now I'm already a page in, and I basically just started with the challenge. So I start to wonder if I can cover it in 3 pages. In this case, there's quite a bit of code we have to read and understand, and that's always a bit tricky for a video. When you do the challenge yourself, you spend a lot of time reviewing the code and maybe comment everything. Maybe you extract pieces and run them on their own. But for a video, you have to keep it short and kind of point out only important parts. But that could mean the audience doesn't understand the application at all, so that's just something to keep in mind and it's difficult to balance. After a while, the first draft is done, way over my 3-page limit. Now I use a timer and read the script out loud again, fix some minor grammar or flow issues and check the length. Looks like this video is going to be a bit longer. Now I have to decide, make 2 parts and flesh these out more or make 1 longer part. This one is hard because it's right there at the border. So I decide to go with 1 video for now. I could always split it later. When I feel like the script is done, I go back to Premiere and record my voiceover. And FYI, up until here it took me about 3 hours. Now I start to assemble the video and edit it. Like I mentioned earlier, the video recordings from during the CTF are often shitty. Tabbing around, having personal information and notifications visible, small fonts, crowded terminals. This means I usually reenact most of the stuff again. So for example, I want to record how I researched OWASP A7 again. Some things to consider when recording footage. Try to match the aspect ratio of the video with your windows. A small trick to do that is use some kind of image or the video preview to make a clean browser window in a perfect 16:9 aspect ratio. Try to have the font big enough that it could be read without full screen or high quality. There are a lot of mobile phone users out there. Typing is always slow. Speed those parts up and have very determined mouse movements. Try to not include the spelling mistakes and corrections. Try to focus as much on what you want them to see and minimize unnecessary information. If you are typing in terminal, try to leave a border at the bottom or always clear the terminal so you write at the top, because when you pause in YouTube, the bar stays on top and covers up what you typed. Super annoying. And like with any write-up, you have to clean up your code. That's another big reason why using the footage from during the CTF is so bad. It's always messy. At some point, I'm done arranging and editing the video in Premiere. Because I had to reenact and record so many things and look through footage, it probably took me around 4 hours. But I'm not fully done yet. First, I have to export the video in Premiere and then open it in Photoshop. Yep, you heard me right. I opened the video in Photoshop because Photoshop can do video editing. And this is pretty cool to draw my overlays. So basically, I go now through the video and create layers on which I can draw with my graphics tablet. And that's super easy and chill and goes pretty fast. That's basically my secret of doing my overlays. Unfortunately, I can't animate stuff here. So I can't animate moving graphics or so. If I plan to do that, then I usually create the graphics first and import them into Premiere. But that's pretty tedious. I really would like a better process here because animations would be really cool. Then I render the video in Photoshop, which is buggy because sometimes the audio in the beginning cuts out, which apparently happens when the disk can't read the video source file fast enough, and I have the footage on a huge hard drive, not an SSD. So what you can do is quickly play the video with VLC, because then it seems to be in memory or so, and then I have no problems. Anyway, this part took me about an hour or so it's pretty fast. Next step is uploading, so going to YouTube. Oh, Gunval is streaming right now. Better go watch this instead. After procrastinating, but also learning awesome new stuff, I finally do the upload and create a thumbnail for it. Then some other small stuff has to be done, like adding the transcript for the subtitles and adding the end card. If you pay attention to the upload date and look when I publicly released it, you can see that quite some time passed. I actually always have videos in the pipeline. When I made this video, I had 6 unreleased videos, which means I have a buffer for over a month. And that's important to me, because I always have bursts of motivation and I go crazy a few days making videos, and then I need a break again. And for example, in the recent weeks, I had a ton of work and was traveling and couldn't make any videos, so now I have only 2 videos left. That's also the reason why I don't really make up-to-date news videos often. Basically, there was only the Nintendo Switch and the Dirty Cow video I made. It feels really good to release a video consistently every week, but I don't want to have the anxiety and the pressure to create another video. I can go comfortably on vacation or just play a game without feeling guilty.
Enemy eliminated. My arrow finds its mark.
Overall, you can see it takes me about 1 full day to create a video, without the time it took me to solve the challenge or research the topic in the first place. If I would care less in making the footage look good, or not write a script and be good at just talking and improvising, I could be a lot faster. But that's how I like to do it right now, and I'm curious how I change my process over the next year. And my videos have changed a lot from when I started. I hope it helps. I want to see more CTF video write-ups.